You know what time it is. Get that old island out of here. We're moving. We're moving to Maui very quickly next week, right? My friends, we have got some crazy new game-changing stuff for the crew. Not only have we binned off the FOMO, not only have we got a whole new island to explore, we are changing the grind. Huh? Let's be real, you've played the crew before. After you complete an objective in the game, you get a reward. And these rewards have been pretty similar since the beginning of the game. This RPG system is changing, and I think changing for the better. They're changing the way the system works to change how gameplay can work, how the grind can work, how the progression can work. There has absolutely been complaints in the past that this system is pretty much has been the same since the beginning of time. But for the basics, there's different varieties of these parts, there's different rarity of these parts, and ultimately there's these special versions at the end. They give you these pristine bonuses. Oh wait. At the end, they give you these pristine bonuses. Now, all of that is changing, along with a bunch of other things, because my friends, they've told us the details of the big changes coming to the game and how you play the game. This is incredibly exciting. So we already knew a little bit about this brand new system in where we can get tickets. This is a huge system. The custom mode, as you complete it, as you can see, it is now ticking these off and you get these prestige tickets that you can spend on the store. This is ultimately going to change it so you can go now for a grind sesh if you want to, opposed to having to mash it out then and there, 1 week, there and done. So then you collect them and you get the reward. So now makes a little bit more sense because we need to complete the road to basically get this, so it's going to take a little while. It's a grind, that's for sure. Before, we weren't really sure exactly how this is going to work, but you see it? Boom! The GT3 RS 600k. You know, that's actually really reasonable. Did you know that this car in the real world actually only costs like 160k, like when it came out, and then, you know, you had to be invited to buy it? But I mean, considering, that's not bad. You can spend that on like a Porsche SUV. So they dropped a new article that gives us a few more details. We know about the wing mirrors. We've already discussed that, so I'm not going to bother doing it again. These are the year 2 changes. So once again, rear view mirrors, which are only available on new gen and PC. That is worth noting. So if you're on the old generation, now is the time. If you want mirrors. RPG enhancements, which they will talk about in the section below, we'll get to. The view parts in car list. Players will now have the ability to see installed car parts directly from the car list, simplifying the process of managing and optimizing a vehicle setup. That's huge. So my assumption is that this screen will show you the parts you have. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it. Are they going to change this menu in the top corner and you just kind of filter through it? Is it going to be attached to the bottom of the car there? That would be so useful, in fact, because you could see it from a mile away. It would also be nice if, you know, it loaded like it was on an SSD. You're on an SSD! To be fair, it renders the car, but you could surely store that image rather than regenerating it every time. Anyway, that's pretty epic. And of course, the ticket system, which if you didn't know anything about the ticket system, again, I will go into more detail in another video because I already did. I'll put that at the end, so stick around. So let's get to it. The RPG enhancements is how they call it. So the first category, merging. A merging system will be introduced, allowing players to combine 3 parts of the same rarity, combining them into the same part of an upgraded rarity. This allows players to farm legendary parts of a specific type at a much faster rate in exchange for some spare parts and bucks. So this changes a lot. One kind of gripe with this game is that it kind of randomizes the parts you get. Now that doesn't matter. Instead of, you know, just making it so you get the better parts all the time, I don't think that would be the solution personally. I feel like that's, I don't know, it simplifies it too much maybe. And sometimes you do want some lesser parts, right, to scrap. So what I would say is this is probably the best of both. Now, for an example, I have 3 pink parts here. I will combine these pink parts and I will get an upgraded rarity. Now, it will still probably be a random affix on those parts, so it will take some time, but it changes how you grind for parts in a significant way and makes it so you're not wasting any time. So right now you have these 2 categories on it, or whatever, depending on the parts you've got. They do change around a little bit, but you can go in and spend some money and actually upgrade these parts. Now, this is something I've spent a lot of time and money doing, but you can choose different special options. If you're trying to grind XP and loot, this is the setup that you're going to want. Or similar. You're going to want to keep going until the percentage is high, and then based on the part, it's more percent. So with this new huge change, it means you can save so much more time. But not only that, they've got another change too. Legendary set half bonuses. Legendary sets now have activation steps. This system is new and it will reward players with 50% of the bonuses if they have 3 legendary parts set and equipped, and 100% if they choose to equip the full set. One thing, honestly, folks, I'm struggling to find the parts I'm looking for. There we go. Finally, that's actually going to be a huge improvement to see the parts that are on the card before you go on the menu. Now, as you can see, I am very, very, very close to getting all the parts I need for this set. And these sets basically give you an affix, which is XP magnet. So it earn value more XP once you've completed it, and you also get these 2 extra affixes too. It's a really cool way, so you can, for example, increase treasure density. You've got this one, which will give you more loot. You've got this one, which will give you more bucks. And essentially, you've always needed the full set to actually get the reward, which means it became a really just unrewarding grind sometimes, to the point where I essentially didn't bother all the way through sometimes because I got distracted by something else. Well, my friends, this changes everything because it allows you to get 50% affix bonuses and activate those affix bonuses. So I only need half the parts to start getting the rewards from those cars, which means they're instantly more rewarded, which makes me question why I can't just get a from go option. Maybe they found that too unbalanced and every single part I get like an extra percent or something. Maybe in the future we'll get something like that, but this changes, oops, I hate rewind buttons. But this changes everything. I hate that I keep saying this, but the game is completely changing. They're removing FOMO, they're changing and improving the reward system no matter which aspect of the game you want to jump into. A whole new area to play. It's going to be a completely different game in literally 1 week's time. And that's not it. There was another category. Sorry, I won't forget, I promise. This will allow players the opportunity of more flexibility and opportunities to maximize their performance in their own creative way. This means you can combine the effects of 2 legendary sets on the same vehicle, which was not previously possible. What? That's so crazy. As I said to you guys, right now, I have got this car almost ready to go full on this, but this will allow us to go, okay, no, I don't want just the XP magnet. No. What I actually want also is some money. So if I go to the bucks option, I can have half and half of bucks and, well, followers. So I double my earnings in money and XP, which means I can do both things at once. It improves, speeds up the gameplay process that I was looking for. There are some crazy changes going on to this game, and when they make significant changes like this, that means it's kind of in the franchise for good. Of course, if something was colossally terrible and failed and it didn't work very well, I'm sure they would come in and, you know, make some changes as per needed, but that is so good. What I really love about this update so far, everything to do with this update, it seems like what they've got working, they have decided not to mess with and slightly improve in a few aspects. So for example, the PvP, you're gonna have so many new areas to play in, but the thing that I told them that was kind of lacking is the solo or co-op play. I don't really care about the PvP element. That's not my thing, and now the crew is catering more so this update to tying everything together, tying up the loose ends. Hell, this affects PvP too. Oh, I guess not, because everyone's balanced in PvP. Ha! Suck it, PvP! You've instantly added 50 bajillion new events for us to play and new ways of building up these cars to be the best they could be. And I'm really excited to jump back in again. And that's ignoring all the new cars. This is a humongous update, and it really reminds me of like the Wild Run days. The crew did a full graphics overhaul on the game, and that was crazy. I couldn't comprehend it in the slightest. But here we are, friends. The big changes for the crew. Do let me know down in the comments which of the changes you are most excited about. If not, are you excited about everything coming to this game? It's just, it feels like it's leaning back more to the Crew 1 in terms of its big kind of changes. It's groundbreaking changes that basically then stick with the series for good. Sorry. I do just hope, you know, in the future we go back to more of a gritty setting and less festivalness. It feels like they're pushing that way, especially with the chase squad and stuff. I don't know. I'm excited. You're excited. And we'll see you in the update next week, guys. Check out this video if you want more information, as I said.